Yeah?
I watched the video.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So, Yasin, what do you do first? Find the slope. Very good. First, we find the slope of the line that goes to those 2 points. And the slope is on your formula chart. It is one of the formulas. You don't have to memorize it. Circle your x's and underline your y's. So we would do y minus y divided by x minus x. Delta y over delta x. Waylon, what do you get for the slope? Okay, keep working. What'd you get, Waylon? What? Negative. Try again. Right, so what's the slope? Go to your calculator, type in 10 divided by negative 5. What? Negative 2. Okay. Now, we don't want that slope. We don't want that slope. We want to be perpendicular to that slope. Irene, what's the slope of a line perpendicular to that slope? Perpendicular. 1/2. So remember, perpendicular means you find the opposite reciprocal. The opposite reciprocal. So the opposite reciprocal of negative 2 is 1/2, positive 1/2. What was our point that we needed to pass through?
Oh, 10, negative 10, 15. Negative
10. Okay. So we have a point and we have a slope. And Ms. Stanton's favorite form to use when you have a point and a slope is the point-slope form. I know you can go straight to slope-intercept form, and if you'd like to do that, that's fine. But I think point-slope form is easier, personally. It's less steps. Y minus y equals m x minus x. That is on your formula chart. We're just plugging in numbers. We're following what it says to do on our formula chart. We're going to distribute the 1/2, and we're going to add 15. And then we'll be done, because we don't have to get this into standard form. So we distribute the 1/2. Y minus 15 equals 1/2 x plus 5. Very nice. And then add 15. And that's all there is to it. Y equals 1/2 x plus 20. End of story. That is the answer. Can you do that tomorrow in your partner quiz with a partner? Can you do that? What's your question?
How do you go from there? Oh wait, you subtract 1/2 x and then
Multiply by 2. Yeah. All right. Next we are checking our answers. We did some of these in bingo. Some of them we did not do in bingo. But there were only 8 problems. I hope you tried them. There were 8 problems. I hope you tried them. Let me know which ones I need to work. Can't do all of them. Okay? I did all of them in tutorials. I sure did. If you were at tutorials, I did all 8 of these. Number 3. Number 8. That's going to be enough math, isn't it? Which one?
6.
Okay. Oh, y'all are asking for pretty much the same problem over and over because we're gonna have lots of fractions. That's okay. I'm doing those. That's it. 3, 6, and 8. That is all I'm gonna do. Side note, real quick. Today is the last day to retake the quizzes that you got back on Friday. You got back distance, midpoint, Pythagorean theorem. That was a quiz, and you got back nth term, the tables. That was a quiz. Today in tutoring, in Miss Johnson's room, is the last day to redo those, if you got below a 70 on those. Okay, I'll give you those. All right, ready? Number 3. Here we go. Okay, are you ready to do a lot of algebra? Fasten your seatbelts. It's not fun, but we're going to do it because the more we do this, the better we're going to get at it. Okay, so step 1. Ooh, God bless you. Michelle, what is step 1 on this problem?
How do we start this?
Wonderful answer. She said, put that thing into slope-intercept form. You don't know the slope of that line until it's in slope-intercept form. To get it from standard to slope-intercept, it's a 2-step problem. You move the x, and you divide by the coefficient of y. It is a 2-step operation. You move the x, let's do that first. Negative 9y equals negative 2x plus 47. That was step 1. And then you divide by the coefficient of y. That's step 2. Divide. Divide. We don't really care about the y-intercept, but why not? We'll just divide it anyways. Y equals, now all we care about is the slope. Maddie, what's the slope of this line?
Positive 2/9.
Awesome. So the slope is 2/9 because the negatives cancel. And we're looking at the number in front of x. That's how we grab the slope. We want to be parallel to 2/9. So Chris, what do we want our slope to be if we want to be parallel to a slope of 2/9? Same thing, 2/9. You don't touch it. You don't change it. You don't make it negative. You don't do anything to it. So we've got a slope and we've got a point. Where do we go? Point, slope. Josh?
Why do you go from negative to positive?
Negative divided by a negative. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. All right, here we go. Point, slope. Y minus. Yell it out. Let's do it together. 1 equals 2/9 parentheses open.
X plus 4.
X, you want to just dive right into plus 4 because a minus and negative is a plus. Is that okay with everyone? Why not? Okay. The rest is simply moving and rearranging furniture. Except it's fractions, it's not furniture. All right, let's distribute y minus 1 equals 2/9 x plus, here's where people have trouble. 2/9 times 4. You just multiply the numerators, that's it. 2 times 4. 8. So it's 2/9 times 4 is 8/9. We want to get rid of those fractions, so we're going to multiply everything by 9. So we're going to have 9y minus 9 equals
2x plus 8.
2x plus 8. The 9's cancel. 2x plus 8. We are almost there, guys. We're just moving around a tiny bit more. Okay. Do you mind if these guys just trade places? I'm going to move the x over to the left and the 9 over to the right at the same time. Can we do that? Negative 2x plus 9y equals, let's see, plus 9 plus 9, 17. We're only breaking one rule. What rule are we breaking? Leading coefficient can't be negative. So you change everybody's sign. 2x minus 9y equals negative 17. Final answer, that's number 3. Woo! Okay. Next one. Equally as ugly as this one. Number 6. Here we go. If we can do these, we can do anything. If we can do these, we can do anything. All right. Number 6, we need to be parallel to this line. So what do you think we should do? Find the slope. Everyone do it. If you haven't done it yet, find the slope. It's good practice. Y minus y over x minus x. Kenny, what do you get for the slope?
Negative 11 over 13.
That's perfect. That's the slope. Woo, that's a fraction. Negative 11 over 13. That's not reducible. We can't do anything with it. So we have a point and we have a slope. So we're going to go to my favorite formula, point slope. Y minus y equals m x minus x. It's going to get uglier before it gets prettier. Here we go. Y minus 1 equals negative 11/13 x. Now what? When you distribute that, what's 11 times 5? 55/13. Positive or negative? A negative times a negative is a positive. Okay. All right. Now we get rid. Yep, we absolutely right now would stop what we're doing and we would get rid of the fractions because they're scaring us. So we've got 13y minus 13 equals
11.
negative 11. Careful. Negative 11x plus 55. All that we changed on the right was we got rid of the denominators. That's all we changed. The good news is when we move the x over, it's going to be what we want it to be. It's going to be positive, right? Add 11x to both sides. 11x. That 13y was already there. At the same time, I'm going to add 13 to both sides. 55 plus 13. And we are all done. We are not disobeying any rules. Is that okay? Do you know where you're wrong? Okay. All right. Number 8, the last problem, and then we can get into what we're doing today. Everyone look at number 8 with me. We definitely did not do this one during bingo. So unless you did this at home, everyone's doing this with me. What in the world does perpendicular bisector mean? We haven't done that in forever. What does it mean? Half. I'm hearing the word half. There we go. So, yeah, perpendicular means we're going to have opposite reciprocal slopes, right? That's what it means for us, opposite reciprocal. And what does bisector mean?
Half.
Cuts in half. How would I find the halfway point between 2 points? What formula?
The midpoint.
Midpoint. So for our purposes, bisector means midpoint. So we're going to need to find a midpoint, and we're going to need to find a perpendicular slope. That's what we're doing, opposite reciprocal and midpoint. So step 1 is to find midpoint. We haven't done this in a while. Let's do it. You ready? Midpoint. Add the x's and divide by 2. So let's grab our x's. 7 and negative 13. Add the x's and divide by 2. And then we add our y's and divide by 2. So let's call in some names. Kaylee, what is the x value? Negative 3. Negative 6 divided by 2. Okay, cool. Very nice. The other one's going to be a decimal. Alyssa, what is the y value? Negative 2.5. Or we could write that as negative 5 halves. Negative 5 halves. The reason for that, we'll see later. We'll see what the reason is. Okay, we have a point. Do we have a slope? No, we don't have a slope yet. We better find the slope. This is really good practice. Okay, we use those same exact 2 points and we find the slope. Slope is delta y, so it's y minus y over x minus x. The minus and negative becomes a plus. Negative 13 minus 7. So, I've already called on you. Joanne, what is this reduced to? Negative 1/4. Now, that's the slope of the line, but we want to be blank to that line. Perpendicular. We want to be perpendicular to that line. So, Raquel, what is the slope that would be perpendicular to negative 1/4?
4.
Very good. Not equals 4, but it changes into 4 when we make it perpendicular. Oh, we have a point. We have a slope. Point slope form. Finally. Oh my goodness. Okay. Y minus, here's our y. Y plus 2.5, because it's minus a negative, equals 4. Thank goodness that's not a fraction. 4, x minus negative 3, so plus 3. What form do we need to end up in?
Standard.
Oh man, standard form again. So y y plus 2.5 equals 4x plus 12. We could go, let's go ahead and move stuff around. Let's just do it. I'm going to bring the 4x over, 4x plus y equals, and I'm going to subtract my 2.5, 9.5. How many rules are we disobeying? 2. Our leading coefficient is negative, and that's really a fraction. Even though you're looking at it as a decimal, that is a fraction. Now, if something is 0.5, if you write it as a fraction, it's a number over what always?
Half.
2. It's over 2. It's half, yeah. So, if we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, we're going to multiply all of this by negative 2. Because we need to get rid of our leading coefficient and our fraction all at the same time. Okay, here we go. Negative 2 times negative 4. 8x minus 2y equals, okay. Is that what we had on the answer? Good. Okay.